Hey guys, Bitcoin Owen here. Ray Dalio said it yesterday, live on CNBC. He said that the monetary order is breaking down. Yes, he said the monetary order is breaking down. That is not good news for you and me. Some people, the very poor people in society, think this is great news, basically, and it's worthy of a joke. They think that it's great news to hear that the monetary order is breaking down and that people will be without work, without food, without a home, without a home, without health care. That's what's ahead of you if you don't buy Bitcoin. If you don't have Bitcoin, that is what is ahead of you now. Because the monetary order is breaking down. Look at the bond, the bond, the yield curve on U.S. Treasuries is upward sloping basically, and it's normally downward sloping. That means that there is trouble ahead, and it's been inverted since March of 2020, the start of COVID. That's when the US bond yield curve went inverted. And that means that the US government has to pay more basically on its debt. Any bond that has issues now, it's on the 10 years paying more than 4% per annum interest. That means more interest basically. It means more debts, more borrowing, and borrowing on top of borrowing. Basically, they're borrowing money to borrow money. Basically, they're borrowing money to pay the interest on the bonds. So they're borrowing money to borrow more money, if you know what I mean. I would say that the safest harbor was silver until the emergence of Bitcoin. Bitcoin came on the scene in 2009. It was created by Satoshi Nakamoto. That was his name. That's the name he used. Anyway, that's the name he gave to people when he was asked for his name on the bitcointalk.org forum on the internet. And we have the price of gold as well is skyrocketing, and silver is skyrocketing. The price of silver is out of control altogether. It's up at $96 an ounce today in trading on the New York on the COMEX. Silver trades on the COMEX and then Shanghai. And the Shanghai market is even higher. It's at $106 or $7 an ounce in Shanghai, and arbitrageurs are buying in New York and selling in Shanghai. They're buying physical in New York and they're selling physical in Shanghai. And if people in Ireland, things aren't so bad at the moment because they got a 14 billion euro windfall from Twitter last year. And so that helped to balance the books last year. But this year is a different story, and there's Sinn Féin are calling for more and more and more social spending basically, and they're saying that the poor people of the country are struggling to survive basically. They can't make ends meet, and they're blaming it on the government. They're making the government they're holding the government responsible for the debts of the no, just the well-being, the welfare of the lower class basically, and lower class people on social welfare. They're holding the government responsible for it. I'm not so sure that's the right thing to do basically. They should be helping people get out of poverty by through education and hard work, I suppose. That's the way to get out of poverty. But yeah, it seems that the gold price is out of control. You've got the bond market, the cratering basically. You've got 17,000 homeless now in Ireland at the moment. I don't think the Irish government bond yield is inverted, the yield curve is inverted. They would have said it, they would be talking about that in the media, but it could be, and RT wouldn't be publishing it. They don't want, RT does not want to alarm people. They want to inform people, but they don't want people to go get up in arms and out on the street protesting, banging pots and pans like they do in Brazil. That's what they don't want, and they're very careful about what they say in their news reports and on the internet and on the television and radio. That's where I get my news anyway, the RT News app. I don't have to wait for the news at 6 or 9 or anything like that. I get it on demand. But I'm not a news junkie either. I don't spend all day reading RT News. The most I spend would be 20 minutes to half an hour every day reading the RT News app. It was good coverage on the on the Davos summit, but they focused heavily on Trump, 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 Trump. There was no mention of Dalio and what he said on CNBC, basically that we'll say that that monetary order is breaking down, and that's going to cause huge chaos. Like there's going to be a lot of suffering in Ireland, and we haven't seen it yet. We have been insulated basically because of our corporation tax rate. We're getting money for nothing basically. The Irish government is getting tax receipts from American companies basically who many of them don't have any base here. You don't need to have a base here. They could be just an address basically, a mail order company basically, and they would offset a large amount of profits then to the Irish company and tax them at the lower rate of corporation tax in Ireland, and that would help them save money on taxes basically. Tax planning. That's what the big four specialise in. Anyway, guys, nice to talk to you again today as always, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.